AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so this is a fascinating story. This is an immigration attorney who emigrated to this country from Iraq, Robert DeKelaita, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and has been indicted by the federal government for immigration fraud. And Mr. DeKelaita joins us now. Thank you for joining us.
Sure, you're welcome.
So you were indicted for immigration fraud, and the related cases all involve, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, trying to bring Christians, maybe including Yazidis from Iraq who face persecution, death, over to this country. Is that right?
Well, actually, the indictment lays out claims that I helped coach or instruct people on telling their stories who were actually here in the United States. So not bringing them over, but who were here and afraid to go back to their countries.
But they were here with no permanent legal status. Is that the problem?
That's right. Either their legal status ran out, or they had crossed the border years prior. But I would not be able to bring them here. I would only be able to defend them when they're here from deportation.
Well, the government claims they have 12 former clients, but you say they've been harassed and intimidated to testify against you?
Well, I mean, this is all going to come out in the case. I think that based on what we've been hearing, and I'm not really at liberty to disclose details of the case on the radio, but I think I was really looking forward. The hearing has been continued twice for various reasons. I was looking forward to a hearing in May of this year, and unfortunately it didn't happen. There is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind, especially in mine. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm a graduate of Loyola University Law School. I'm a graduate of... You are, I know. And also the University of Chicago master's degree. I'm very familiar with the conditions of Christians in Iraq. I am well aware, as many are, that this issue was really not as known before as it is now. I stand by my record. I've helped thousands of Christians, Iraqi Christians, Syrian Christians, Egyptian Christians, seek protection of the United States. They are decent people, hardworking people. And they have been persecuted in various Muslim countries. A lot of the persecution has been religious persecution, and I think it's very unfortunate and insensitive of the government to bring this case right now, when the existence of Christians in Iraq and Syria and Egypt is coming to an end.
Well, but see, here's the thing. I mean, why would anybody need to coach anybody about their story if they were seeking asylum? Because we know what the reality on the ground is, where, in as you mentioned, Coptic Christians in Egypt and Christians in Iraq. We know that they're being persecuted, and that there's an effort for genocide at the hands of ISIS and other terrorist organizations. So why would there even be any need for coaching?
Well, it's a very good question, and it's a question we would be asking. And I think it is probably a great misunderstanding, either intentional or not. I don't know yet, but we'll find out. But it's a very good question. But I have to tell you, though, that unfortunately there are many in the immigration system, in the Department of Homeland Security, who believe that Christians in these countries are not persecuted. I mean, one judge said to me, and my client who was sitting beside me had his father targeted and murdered because he worked with the United States. The judge said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'd have to get the exact quote, to say that there is persecution of Christians is to cherry-pick the facts or to appeal to emotion or ignorance. And that is stated on the record. And, we've had multiple cases like this where people who are, decent people, hardworking people, being targeted because there is a misunderstanding of what is going on in these countries. And I think now we kind of physically see it with people escaping. There's, more cameras there, but this has been going on since 2003 in particular.
What do you think of the Syrian refugee crisis, and should we allow them here in our country?
Well, here, I have been, in addition to being an attorney, I've been an advocate for our people's rights, for the Assyrian Christians who are natives to Iraq and Syria, to seek a safe haven. Mm-hmm. And if the United States government had agreed to help with the creation of a safe haven in these areas where these people have lived for thousands of years, I mean, they're not just Christians in the abstract, they've been living in these countries for thousands of years. If that had happened before, we would not be seeing what we're seeing today, and that is people escaping. So contrary to what some people have believed about me, and that is I have advocated for people to remain in those countries. And I said it in an article that was done about me in 2008. Christians want to remain in their countries, though they're native to that. That's where Jesus Christ was born. He was born in the Middle East. He preached in the Middle East. Syria and Iraq are places where Christianity first began to prosper. I mean, the ancient church of the East, as it's called, the Assyrian church, has been in Iraq for thousands of years, over 2,000 years. So,
Robert,
I'm sorry.
I got to let you go. Robert DeKelaita is an immigration attorney. I hope you can find asylum from the Department of Justice. If you want more information about his case, you can go to standwithrobert.com, standwithrobert.com. Robert DeKelaita, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.